This is a photo of Kirsten Holmer Anderson. When it was taken in 1911, she was a recently widowed 40-year-old mother of 5 living in Chicago, Illinois. She's my wife Terry's great-grandmother. Terry always wanted to know more about her and the Swedish branch of her family. The internet and programs like Ancestry.com have made that much easier, but as wonderful as they are, they can only go so far. They can provide dates and places, but to learn more about the people, you need to go deeper. Ideally, you'll be able to talk with people who knew them or have personal letters or journals. You can also visit the places they lived, grew up, went to school, and attended church. In Kirsten Holmer Anderson's case, that would be the small village of Morum, near the Baltic Sea in southern Sweden. The opportunity came in May 2016. A planned visit to Copenhagen, Denmark with friends and neighbors Chris and Jay Edenfield put us about 90 miles away, less than 3 hours by train. With help from Lars Sahlstrom, owner of All Around Tours, and genealogist Ulva Silverburn, we were able to visit the places she knew as a girl and meet with relatives still living in the area.
Okay.
With birth year, and they married that year. And then we go for all 4 branches. This one, okay. Grandfather, you can continue. Here is he.
Oh my gosh, you went back so far.
Yes. And then his wife, back to this Daniel.
Our journey began in nearby Karlshamn with a visit to a statue overlooking the harbor where many of the 1.5 million Swedes who emigrated to North America departed beginning in the mid-1800s. The man stares resolutely ahead. The woman looks back toward the family and home they'll be leaving, perhaps forever. Kirsten was 19 when she made the journey to Chicago. She was the second of 12 children, living on a family farm that could not support that number once they reached adulthood. We visited the farm my wife's 4 times great-grandparents once owned. The current owners are a young couple, Rickard and Maria Jansson. They graciously invited us to tour the farm.
How does it feel?
Overwhelming.
I mean, you can feel that your ancestors have been running around here, living, and now you are back.
Here, I wouldn't be here.
No.
The original house burned down, but the stone threshold of the front step is still there. Rickard showed us how some of the charred beams salvaged from the old house were incorporated into the new house. We were treated to a lovely Swedish custom called a fika. When visitors drive by, it's customary to serve coffee and juice and sweet rolls. Even the family cat seemed to get into the spirit of fika. Next, we went to the village church where Kirsten was baptized and buried after she passed away in America in 1948. The church in Sweden keeps meticulous records, and it's a tremendous resource in researching family trees. There's been a church at this location for at least 400 years. The current building was built in 1847. A visit to the churchyard solved one family mystery. In the early 1950s, Kirsten's grandson, Erwin Aronson, visited Morum. He met family members and gathered some genealogical information, including the name Petronella, leading some to believe there may be an Italian branch on the Swedish family tree. Petronella, it turns out, is a fairly common woman's first name in Sweden. From the church, we went to the Village Heritage Center, a restored family farmhouse for what was, without question, the high point of the trip. While we were planning the trip, Lars and Ulva asked if we would like to meet family members still living in the area. The answer was yes, of course. 10 second cousins were able to attend our second fika of the day. 2 newspapers sent reporters to cover the reunion. They were interested in how this all came about and if we thought other Americans and Canadians of Swedish ancestry might be interested in connecting with their Swedish roots. This part of Sweden is beautiful, but somewhat off the normal tourist path. Lars and Ulva were hoping that, along with eco-tourists interested in hiking, camping, fishing for salmon in the local streams, and playing golf, there might be a new wave of genealogy tourists who would share the amazing experience that we were having. The family reunion was a special blessing. Stories were shared, information and family photos exchanged. There were hugs and laughs and promises to return. Terry prepared a family tree that showed 98 names that would not have been there had Kirsten Holmberg not come to America. After the fika, we visited several family homes, including this beautiful farmhouse built in 1857. It's called the Clockmakers House because several of Kirsten's relatives were famous clockmakers. A trip like this can be life-changing and life-affirming. You begin to understand the courage it must have taken to leave family and home behind for America. You can imagine the culture shock they must have experienced in going from the beautiful countryside in Sweden to the streets of Chicago. You can really appreciate the sacrifices our immigrant ancestors had to make. It was a joy to meet family and to make new friends, knowing that they are just a click away on the internet, or a flight and a train ride from home. Hopefully the experience that Terry had will be repeated by many others seeking to experience a renewal of their own Swedish heritage.
Made a new friend halfway around the world.
Yes, yes. Maybe we can be